I hate watching these news channels, even the ones online. It's like they're all paid shills. I'm always amused when they use the same line about how the U.S. won't attack because there's no oil, but they'll let this brutal dictator kill his own people. Get out of here. Here's the deal. This is just another conflict in the Middle East. A distraction to quickly sweep PRISM under the rug, which I'll get to later. But I'm seriously amused at how things never really change over the years. This fake terrorist army in Syria is cutting out human hearts. They're throwing journalists off of buildings, blowing up news stations, and killing independent foreign journalists. They're taking machinery from Syria into Turkey, where innocent civilians have to suffer because their puppet, Erdogan, or whatever his name is protected by the West. Just like the Saudis. The government, the American government, is sending agents online, and they're doing this in public, going to public debates about these things, and trolling hardcore to make people fall in line with the mainstream agenda. They tell people they have no lives if they notice these things. They tell them that they support terrorism, that they're misinformed, or whatever they can say, to get people to shut up about the fact that they've been sending weapons via Saudi Arabia and Qatar to the proxy terrorists who are selling women, killing children, killing Christians, and causing sectarian violence in a place where up until a year ago there was no sectarian violence. As a matter of fact, there still isn't. These are Chechen rebels, Chechen mercenaries, Ukrainian mercenaries, Arabic mercenaries, Latin American mercenaries, French Foreign Legion, which is a bunch of Latin Americans. They recruit heavily in Latin America. For this reason, they look similar. No offense to anybody who's a beaner, but you guys look the same. So no, and of course, African terrorists. And here's the deal. I said this would happen. Like I said, when I said talk to the Libyans, cover your ass. You Syrians better cover your ass, because as soon as, if they kill Assad, you got to do what you got to do. Don't let them do. There ain't no peacekeepers. They ain't liberators. You got to do what you got to do. I'm just gonna leave it there. And it's funny because Assad was laughing when Gaddafi was talking about it. But like I said, man, like I said to all the nignogs out there, I'll tell you nignogs, any Arabs, whatever, you're one step away from being on the list. This color, we're one step away from being on the list. No one wants to believe it, but it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. You can march and make all the mulattoes you want. It's gonna happen. And you don't want to hear that. I know. It's a scary thought. But it's coming. Somewhere, sometime, it's coming. This way, I mean, and it's not all of them, because they're on the list as well. Regular old whiteys, you're on the list too. Everybody's on the list. But they're gonna stir up those divisions. And while they're stirring up those divisions, they're doing things like talking about multiculturalism and trying to ignore people's different backgrounds to cause those divisions. Because there's a certain group of people who like to stir up shit. It's in their interest to stir up shit. They'll talk about all this interracial crap, and they'll always focus it around relationships. They'll always focus it around sexual relationships. You'll talk about economics, you'll talk about general cultural interaction, and they'll always focus it on sexual relationships to control people, because that's how these societies have been maintained over the years, through repression and controlling people's fears about being exterminated genetically. That's one of many things: exterminating their religion, exterminating their language, exterminating their race. And they blend it with it's beneficial, it grows societies, all this crap, when it's really one taking over the other, instead of just acknowledging different groups and different ideologies. That was the purpose of my video I made a long time ago. I forget the name of it, it's on here somewhere. But the thing is, like I said, think about what happened in Libya. Go look at my video I made a year before it happened. Same with Mali. Because it's so obvious. You don't have to be some newspaper clipping fucktard with a bunch of online articles to see it. It's right in your face. The government knows it because they're sloppy now. And they're sloppy for a few reasons. They want to see who the dissidents are. Being sloppy, you'll point out this, you'll point out that. That's why I don't make videos every damn week. I don't need to point out, I'll point this shit out a year before it happens and let you see it play out. And then I'll come and talk about it and go, I told you. I don't need to talk about all this extra shit. There's no reason to. They want to see who the dissidents are. They want to see who people are who notice this shit. They want to get rid of them. They want to get rid of the observant. They want to get rid of the Aspies. They want to get rid of the loners. Anybody that can see these things. Loners see these things because they don't have anything to do. Aspies see these things because of their mentality, the way they view things in like a larger... It's hard to explain. They see things in a broader picture so they can see regular life and they can see this shit at the same time and they can call it out. And just general intelligent people that don't want to fall in line, they really hate them the most because those people, they can reach out to others and convince them of what's going on. They can talk to them in a way that makes them want to listen and want to pay attention. And those are the people that get shot in the face. Those are the people that they want to find the most. The people who are in the club talking about this. Those are the people that they hate. Not the people yelling like, motherfucker, but the people that are like, yeah, man. If you notice, dude, fucking Obama's fucking out there doing blah, 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 and fucking Brown and Root, and fucking Halliburton, and blah, blah, blah. Those guys who got like 8 bitches listening, they hate those guys the most, because those broads will go out and like, oh my god, and they'll start talking about it at work, and then everybody's talking about it, and then it's on the net, and then people are subscribing to the O, and the full deal's getting going. That's what they don't like. 2, another reason is they know that people are scared to do anything about it, because I know I'm not the only one that sees this shit. This is why you've got a lot of people playing the game of the false design, taking sides and arguing BS talking points they see on TV from the mainstream media, things that are often outright lies. It's also why you see debates in bars and clubs. Random agents will bring up stupid non-issues like the Benghazi attacks, which don't matter. They try to make the U.S. spying on its citizens seem like one of those non-issues, when it's very serious. And since it isn't working, what they're doing now is they're trying to start the war I talked about in the last vid. That's all this is. That's all this is. It's another distraction. And it's like, oh, we're going to support Syria now. You've always been sending them weapons. Then they talked about, oh, we're just sending them financial support. No, you're sending them weapons. What do they need financial support for? To feed themselves? No. No, they don't need that. You're giving them money. You're giving them logistics. You're giving them weapons via your proxies. Sometimes you were giving them directly because that's what Chris Stevens was doing. He was sending weapons directly to Syria via Libya. He was. And the other lady, the lady on the deal there, she has videos of it. There are a bunch of Syrian channels that got videos of it. They've been sending weapons from there. That's probably why they killed it. That's probably why they let the Gaddafi supporters kill Chris Stevens, because he was probably going to blow the whistle on this shit where the FSA has chemical weapons, because America probably gave them to him, just like America gave Saddam a bunch of chemical weapons, mustard gas and whatnot that he was using to kill the Kurds via the Swiss. Nobody wants to hear about that. So America let him kill the Kurds. Gave him the weapons to do it. Coming a couple of years later, steal the oil. Susan Rice, who was heavily invested in oil companies, she loved that. That was a big payday for her, and she is a neocon. So this is the purple party, buddy. This ain't no goddamn blue versus red crap. This is the purple party backed by the Chosenites and the Saudis. Let's cut the crap. And all those guys work together. The global confederacy is here. We're in it. We're just waiting on the police state to lock it down and put everybody under the thumb. Put the boot on the neck. They just wanted to do what the Nazis were trying to do, what the old African empires were doing. That's what America wants. That's what all these people have always wanted. And now's their chance. And they're going to take it. Because we ain't going to do shit about it. See, they want to focus on Syria with this fake chemical weapons crap when the FSA showed themselves testing chemical weapons on rabbits and killing people in pro-Assad cities. PRISM is a serious threat, and that kind of shit should not be used to ignore it, because nobody's talking about the FSA killing citizens. And people, when they talk about PRISM, they're talking about, oh, it's stopping terrorists. Half that crap was FBI BS. FBI instigated events. Probably just completely FBI involved. Probably wasn't even really terrorists there, because Al-Qaeda is a bunch of CIA proxy groups. Let's just cut the crap there. You know, I mean, but this PRISM shit, this is a real threat to people, because the real reason behind it is to find out, like I said, who American dissidents are and to stamp them out. Not because they're a threat to American security, but because they're a threat to the string pullers. They're exposing people, they're exposing what they're doing, and they want to find out if these people are organizing on the grassroots level and infiltrate them. They want to spread more disinformation. They want to make sure that the informed people aren't getting to the masses by bombarding their contacts with disinformation about those people and flooding the net with shit, complete non-facts, to make vital info seem like quackery. They also like to use subliminal frequency codes as amplifiers to get people to basically maintain this fear-based social control, like using symbols that equal 666 and stuff like that. That's why they hate atheism and religions that don't fall in line with word magic. Because when they talk about religion, if you argue about how religion's fake with somebody, I did this with a Berg. I talked about how religion's fake, but I would ignore the fact that he was focusing on Abrahamic religion. I just talked about all religions in general. It's just like all of them are fake. And he just kept trying to push it into, and he was getting frustrated. I could tell he was getting frustrated, which is why I just kept trolling harder and harder. Because I know the point of this whole thing is, if you're atheist or your religion doesn't fall in line with the word magic, then the 666 blessings Armageddon bullshit doesn't mean anything to you. It doesn't work. And so they can't pull the bus strings, and so you're completely lucid and you can see what's going on behind the lies. And that's one of the reasons why they've been pushing that kind of stuff. And that's how they've been pushing this whole Mohammedanism versus Jesusism crap, to get people fighting, and to get people to take sides. But most Americans aren't falling for it anymore. A lot of Canadians aren't falling for it anymore. Latin America just completely doesn't believe shit you're saying, and they're just tired of being taken advantage of. And on a side note, what's going on with Holland getting a Nobel Prize? I mean, what the fuck, man? He's been carpet bombing Mali for a while now. He's basically taken over where Sarkozy left off. I found the entire situation funny, because like I said before, how are they fighting alongside government forces when the country was cooled not too long ago? The media is leaving out the fact that the conflict in Mali, it ain't between Al-Qaeda and the people of northern Mali, whose towns were seized by American-backed Wahhabists last summer. No, Jack and Dandies. This conflict is an old one used to be between the Tuareg and the colonial forces, and now it's between the North and the American-backed guys out of there now. That's what it is. See, the Tuareg have been pushing for a republic in the North for decades. It's another reason why the Americans hated Gaddafi, who supported them, because Americans have been funding the Malian army with millions of dollars since their full independence to keep the uranium and to control the flow and trade of gold out of the country. That's why the junta who controls the country has been cracking down on traditional miners. They want to keep control of this. If the Tuareg get control of the country, they'll make it very, very, very difficult for America to do that. They'll make it difficult because they know the value of this stuff, and they're willing to fight, unlike the Mandan who have had their spirits broken for a long time. The Nigdom is broken, spiritually. Relentless, man. Let's just keep it real. Not all of us, but a lot of us. Most people are. They're starving and they're nutless. You know, I mean, and think about who are these government forces that Holland's fighting next to? Well, let's look at it. This government is headed by the military. The soldiers in power now overthrew the elected President Amadou Touré. Was it last May or April? Saying that he had failed to suppress the Tuareg rebellion and thus hurt their cash cow, which was millions in aids, weapons, and training from the CIA to protect its financial interests in the region. And since they proved themselves incompetent, America cut them off the tit, and so then they went and sacked the government and created a huge fucking vacuum that's going on right now in an already fucked up region that doesn't have to be poor because it doesn't have a large population. It has a fuckload of uranium. It has a fuckload of gold, and they could have been pulling a goddamn Norway and selling the uranium to France to build up their infrastructure so they wouldn't have to be this goddamn poor in the first place. But niggas are stupid, so there you go. The KKK is right. Let's just cut the shit here. Black people are dumb. You're fucking stupid, and that's all there is to that. Because there's no reason to let France come back in and do everything. It's not that blacks are actually stupid, they're just lazy as fuck and want everybody else to do shit for them. Regardless, they want France to come in and build up the infrastructure and then help them sell the uranium to the French, which the French are going to get at a discounted rate, which is going to keep the people in poverty, and that's all there is to that. So they're basically in the same situation they were in before this ever happened. Plus thousands of people dead from the fighting. I'm pretty sure a fuckload more niggas have been sold into slavery because of the fighting and died in the carpet bombings. So I mean, there you go. Great job. A lot of peace going on here. A lot of peace prizes getting thrown out. Yeah. Handed out for nothing. What a bunch of shit. Bitch.